Hey guys, Michael here, and I'm back to talk bricks. Today we're talking This Week in Bonus LEGO News, where every Saturday I bring you the LEGO stories you need to know. This was another super fun week with new sets from LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Collectible Minifigures, LEGO Ideas, and so much more. This video is brought to you by my all-new LEGO Masters recap podcast, TalkBricks Masters, and you can check out my Episode 7 recap on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, and others using the links in the description below. And I'm starting another round of the weekly giveaway, so be sure to leave a comment about this week's news and subscribe. Plus, as always, I'm bringing you guys the best LEGO deals across the internet, so if you want to pick anything up and support the channel, there's always links in the description below. First up from Nordstrom, we've got the LEGO City Deep Space Rocket and Launch Control and Donut Shop opening sets for 25% off, and the LEGO Harry Potter Advent Calendar for 40% off. And from Walmart, we've got the LEGO Movie 2 Battle Ready Batman and Metalbeard set for 50% off. Plus, Target has a bunch of sets from Minecraft, Harry Potter, Disney, and more for 20% off. From Amazon, we've got the LEGO Classic Blue Base Plate for 38% off, and the LEGO Star Wars Action Battle Ender Assault set for 35% off. Plus, we've got the LEGO City Downtown Fire Brigade and Avengers Compound Battle sets for 20% off. And to grab these deals and support the channel, there's links in the description below. Next in LEGO Star Wars news, last week we got a great look at the LEGO Stormtrooper and Boba Fett bus, which will be coming out on April 19th for $59.99. But as I mentioned during that video, there's actually a third one coming out on that date, which is for the TIE Fighter pilot. And this week LEGO finally revealed this third set, which contains 724 pieces and captures the look of the iconic TIE Fighter pilot helmet. The lower half of this helmet looks just like the Stormtrooper but in black coloring, but it features those really cool tube designs and the helmet at the top, with some nice Imperial prints with those dishes. I think it's very clear that these were designed to make really cool display pieces, and I'm very curious to see what other Star Wars helmets that they'll make in the future. But at $59.99, it'll be a little bit expensive to collect them all. We also got the official photos of the large buildable D-0 droid, which contains 519 pieces and will retail for $69.99. The build for the droid turned out really nicely, and I especially loved all the building techniques to create the round shapes of the wheel. The head features that cool conical shape, and it can even be posed around to create all sorts of expressions and looks. Not to mention, it has the classic UCS style stand with a minifigure scale version of D-0. And as someone who's been collecting the other UCS style droids, I think this one will be perfect in my collection. From the Mandalorian, we also got even more official photos of the Razor Crest, giving us a much better look at the ship and all of its fun internal features. For instance, here we can see that all of the side panels fold out to give you full access to the interior. And it's cool that we get some of these characters frozen in carbonite. Here we can see the hidden spring-loaded shooters, and there's even a spot to store the extra bolts. And here we can see the living quarters where the Mandalorian can sleep. For the cockpit, the windscreen lifts off and the rear section lifts up to hold the armory. And the top hatch also opens up, and I'm very curious what Greef Karga's doing in here. Between the great cast of characters and Baby Yoda and a really exceptional build, I think this one's going to be super popular when it comes out. We also got some updated photos of the Mandalorian and the child BrickHeadz, which show some really good shots like extra printed detail on the Mandalorian and a really great look at the carriage that Baby Yoda sits in. And while I know these BrickHeadz aren't for everyone, I'm a huge fan and I'll definitely be picking these ones up. LEGO is clearly trying to keep its Star Wars fans happy with set releases from April through the fall, and I always love having a lot to look forward to. And if you want to pre-order any of these brand new Star Wars sets, now is a really good time because LEGO actually has double VIP points from now through the 29th. Or if Amazon's more your style, you can also pre-order everything there, and all the links help support the channel. This week, posted on the Minifigure store, we got the official photos of Series 20 of the Collectible Minifigures. This series features 16 new minifigures and commemorates 10 years of collectible minifigures. First up, we've got the Bricksuit Boy with a 2x2 tile with a 10 on it to commemorate the anniversary. Though it's interesting that they're giving us another color of these two that we got in a previous series. The Llama Suit Girl is another one in the costume character series, and I think this one's a pretty funny one. Next up, we've got the Martial Arts Boy, and I think this one looks really great with the headband print, the darker color for that hairpiece, and a brand new nunchuck piece, which seems to be a dual mold. Next, we've got the Breakdancer Girl, who has an awesome new hair hat combo and great prints on the torso and the legs. Here we've got an all-new design for the Viking, which features a great new helmet mold and a wonderful printed shield and dual molded arms and legs. And the Pirate Girl with that great hair hat combo and a pretty nice print on the torso and the legs. Here we've got the Peapod Costume Girl, which is a great new piece, and I love the green lipstick detail, but I find it a little strange that she has a red apple accessory. Next up, we've got the Sea Rescuer, and while I don't think the diver concept is too original, I think it is a pretty nice print, not to mention that amazing new sea turtle design, which looks great. Here we can see the Drone Boy, who's got a great print for the controller and an all-new mold for the drone accessory. And the T on his shirt is actually a reference to the airport shuttle monorail, which is a cool detail. The 80s musician has a really nice design with the leather jacket, and I love this brand new guitar piece, though though the Keytar print is actually upside down, which is pretty sad. Next up, we've got the Pinata Boy, which features an all-new mold for the pinata and a nice print on that new fabric piece. And here we've got the Pajama Girl with a nice print on the torso and arms for the pajamas, a recolor of the Hermione hairpiece, and that great new stuffed animal bunny mold. Next up, we've got the Super Warrior, which looks like something out of Power Rangers or Super Sentai, and I really love the design of the uniform as well as that brand new helmet mold. And here we've got the Tournament Knight, and while we've gotten many Knight characters, I do like the bright flame yellow color scheme and the great print of the shield. Next up, we've got the Athlete, which isn't my favorite, but it does come with a white javelin and a nice printed discus piece. And for some reason in the official photo, it seems that the character is flipped horizontally, but if we flip it upside down, you can actually see that the numbers on the torso will spell out the word LEGO. And finally, we have the Space Fan, which features a ton of awesome printed pieces, including the blueprint for the rocket and a rocket with the NASA logo. Not to mention the classic space design on the torso, which is actually the LL-918 spaceship. After 10 years of collectible minifigures, it could be very hard to come up with unique designs, but I think that while not every one of these are my favorites, I think the designers did a really nice job. But as these are the first non-licensed minifigures to come out at the $4.99 price point, I'm definitely curious to see how they'll do. And if you want to vote for your favorite minifigures over the last 10 years, LEGO set up an all-new Minifigure Madness bracket for you guys to vote, which features 4 major divisions. First up in the Get Ups division, we've got all of the classic minifigures that are costumed characters, and this is probably my favorite of all the divisions. Next up under Sports Ball, we've got all of the classic sports-related minifigures, which feature a lot of fun designs from even the earliest series. Next in the Cosmos division, we've got all of the space-related characters, and there's a lot of my favorites here as well, like the classic Alien. And in the final division, Time Machine, we've got all of the characters that represent eras throughout history, with a lot of my favorites like the King and Queen. Overall, this is a pretty fun way to celebrate 10 years of collectible minifigures, and if you want to cast your vote, I've left a link in the description below. Next up, this week in LEGO Masters, the contestants all faced off in a storybook challenge featuring celebrity guest Nicole Byer, where the contestants each had to bring children's storybook creations to life. The creations this week were super amazing as the competition heats up, but if you want to get my full breakdown of the episode, be sure to check out my podcast, TalkBricks Masters. And next week, the final 4 face off with celebrity guest Terry Crews, so you definitely won't want to miss out on all of that fun. And if you want to check out my podcast, there's links in the description below. Next up in LEGO Ideas news, the Great Fishing Boat was the latest project to hit 10,000 supporters on the platform. Overall, the design for this ship is really well captured as they use a fully custom brick-built hull. And what really stood out to me is the unique color scheme and the fun building techniques. It's clear that the designer put a lot of love into this one with a ton of great details. Not to mention 4 minifigures as well as this extra dinghy that hangs off the side. With all the other projects that have entered the round already, this is clearly going to be a very competitive round. But if this one were to be chosen, I'd be pretty excited, and I'd say it would make a great addition to the old fishing store that came out previously. Next up in some sadder news, even more of LEGO's operations has become affected by COVID-19. In a note on social media, LEGO announced that to prioritize health and safety, they're going to be closing all of their stores except for in China through at least March 27th. While this is of course very sad, it doesn't come as a huge surprise, especially given that most non-essential businesses are closed at this time in the US. And even prior to this announcement, many had noted that the Build-A-Minifigure station at their local LEGO store was already taken down. And while we all would love to be at a LEGO store right now, it's great to see that LEGO continues to prioritize health and safety first and foremost. LEGO also released an open letter from their CEO with even more details, including how the LEGO.com store will remain open and all of the retail store employees will still be collecting wages while they're out of work. After the closing of the LEGO House and LEGOland last week, it was clear that this was the direction a lot of this was heading, and it's crazy how much this has been impacting so much of what we do day to day. But it's clear that everyone's health always has to come first, and I'm definitely thinking about you guys and your families and hope that you're staying well. So there you have it, folks. That was this week in LEGO news, and there's definitely a lot of exciting LEGO releases coming soon. I'm personally super excited about all of the Star Wars releases with the Mandalorian sets and those very cool Star Wars helmet busts. Not to mention all of the collectible minifigures coming out in Series 20. Be sure to leave this video a thumbs up down below as it really helps the channel, and don't forget to subscribe because I'll be back next Saturday with even more LEGO news. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think about all the stories? And which one are you most excited about? And now we've got this week's giveaway winner. Congratulations! And be sure to email me from the About page on my channel so we can coordinate about the prize. And if you want to enter this week's round, just leave me a comment about this week's news. You must be a subscriber to win. And definitely turn on notifications to find out when my next video is posted, because I'll be announcing the winners at the end of some of the videos. That's all the time we've got for today. Thanks, and have a good one! And click here to watch last week's video featuring LEGO Super Mario, LEGO Sonic, and so much more. And don't forget to subscribe.